I wonder what first comes to your mind when I say the words TikTok. An app for singing, dancing and lip syncing? Another platform for your children to waste away their time on? Perhaps a song by Kesha? Perhaps you'll be surprised if I said a future mainstream political platform. I was recently scrolling on the app, looking at clips from Ricky Gervais' Netflix Christmas special, when I came across a video of a controversial politician ranking chocolate bars. The video seemed innocent enough at first. The next day, I brought it up to my friends who had seen it too. "He's so iconic," said one. The other questioned his ranking of chocolate bars. Bounty Bar was too high and Crunchy too low. In that moment, I realised we were discussing this politician as if they were an online influencer we had been following, instead of a politician whose policies had real-life implications. This isn't a one-off occurrence. Raise your hand if you've used TikTok or something similar in the last week or month. In October 2022, 75% of UK teenagers between 16 and 18 use the app daily. So perhaps I shouldn't have been surprised when just a week later, a friend sent me a video of a politician being edited to Taylor Swift. Again, we laughed at the absurdity. Again, in that moment, we'd forgotten the economic implications of this figure's policies. Still, don't believe me. Just yesterday, a friend who has never interacted with political discourse before on TikTok in their life was shown a video on their For You page. This video showed different politicians as different aesthetics. The comments were flooded with youth relating to different politicians. "You're this one, you're that one." One of these figures was Stalin. So, what's the meaning of all this? Does it really matter if the youth no longer see politicians as incredibly powerful policy-making figures, but instead as online influencers? The answer is yes. I'm here today to explain to you why that is the answer, and what my generation's behaviour on this app can teach you about the changing political landscape of the future. Launched in 2017 as the international version of the popular Chinese app Douyin, TikTok quickly rose to international fame after the acquisition of Musical.ly in 2018. Only 5 years later, TikTok's CEO was defending links between the app and political polarisation of the youth in a US Congress hearing. So why was there this extreme shift? Over time, the younger generation's declining use of Facebook and Twitter, now X, left a void. TikTok, a newer, trendier platform, could fill this void. Secondly, the rise of mass media meant that within minutes of a political event occurring, TikToks had already been made on the subject matter. This fast-paced action meant that more and more youth flocked to TikTok for their primary source of information, a characteristic that has certainly been helped by major news platforms in the UK, like ITV, establishing official TikTok accounts. To add to all of this, the short and visually captivating nature of the video means that TikTok, a subject matter some of us can find quite boring, is transformed into the perfect format for dopamine-seeking young brains. I'm sure compared to a 30-second TikTok, this talk feels quite long. Finally, and arguably the most important reason for TikTok's success, is the algorithm. Unlike Instagram and Twitter, TikTok algorithm carefully monitors how long you watch each video for before you scroll. Every action you take on the app, whether that be using a certain audio, scrolling on a user's profile for longer than usual, liking a video friends in another geographical location to yours have liked, is combined to form the perfect videos for your interests. TikTok then places them on the For You page. Individuals can also tag their friends easily with 2 clicks of a button, allowing the video to be seen by thousands, millions even. Now, this may all sound theoretical, but there are 2 recent and high-profile cases of TikTok being used in politics. In autumn 2020, Trump's Tulsa campaign rally became prey of the TikTok algorithm. A video suggesting that it would be tragic if people RSVP'd seats and forgot to turn up went viral. With over 1 million RSVP'd seats and a stadium capacity of 20,000, the event was expected to be packed. Guess how many people turned up? 100,000? 50,000? The stadium capacity. On the day of the event, only 6,200 seats were occupied. Videos of this lacklustre event were then circulated and edited between Trump in a clown costume through Photoshop. TikTok's reposting and tagging system, aided by the algorithm, allowed this initial idea to transform into a widespread commentary on a politician. This may seem innocent fun enough, but ultimately it adds to this idea of politicians as comical, farcical figures instead of people with real power and influence. This phenomenon was once again seen in the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Users flocked to the platform to make war edits, comparing Putin and Zelensky in all aspects, even physical attraction. Videos showing Putin topless on a horse in the background with Russian troops versus Ukrainian troops were shown. This media form was trivialized into an almost ironic form of top trumps, a game. When you consider that this media form is shown between Gemma Collins on Big Brother, James Acaster on Would I Lie to You, war content, back to Charli D'Amelio dancing, the picture appears even more dystopian. Such impactful and meaningful content that affects millions of life merges with the rest of TikTok's content to form a platform where politics is desensitized, comedic even. It is worth acknowledging that there are some benefits to the portrayal of online politicians as comedic and relatable. It does have the advantage of increasing youth political participation, which has historically been lower than that of the elderly generation, especially in electoral votes. It can also increase the accessibility of policies, politicians, and political theories to youth. That certainly seems like a feature that democracy should love. So if there are benefits and detriments to the portrayal of online figures on platforms like TikTok, how can we tell if we're being misled or misinformed? In school, most of us are taught how to critically analyse sources, look out for fake news. Most adults are aware that reading one certain newspaper gives them a certain biased view of events. But how can we be aware of this when an algorithm subconsciously influences what we are thinking and changes how we see the political world? TikTok removes this ability for overt political messaging and replaces it with subconscious influencing. It's naive to think that in the next 5 or 10 years, a new, more advanced platform with a better algorithm won't pop up and change politics once again. But in a developing and constantly changing world with technological development and social influences, I would urge you to take away one thing: that the political landscape of today requires caution, whether that be caution in what you post, caution in what you judge from an online video, caution on how quickly you jump onto new trends and ideologies, accept new pieces of information. Don't fall into the trap of turning politics into a game or a comedy, no matter how hard our politicians try to do so. Thank you.